Great news in that the President signed into law our House-passed bill that dealt with paid time off to make sure that folks have relief immediately, this 2 weeks of paid time for folks that are impacted by the coronavirus. And you know, we got more work to do, but this is a great piece of success for the American people. It's just like paid time off programs that we're familiar with, but what it essentially says that employers are going to provide this 2 weeks of paid time off, and that the employees will have the security of knowing that that's here. It also does some things in regards to those that have been laid off and opens up unemployment resources much quicker, much more readily available, so that people know that their day-to-day living expenses here for the foreseeable future are going to be addressed. But we got more work to do. Because in this bill also we did some things on Medicaid, we also did some things on the testing coverage to make sure that these tests for the coronavirus are not going to be costing people money. And so where we go from here is creating this next bucket of making sure we stabilize the economy, do what's necessary to continue to address the public health crisis. And just so proud, we just in the last hour came together as the Problem Solvers Caucus, our 50 members that are working together across the aisle, and we put together a package where we got to our 75% consensus saying this is our idea of health crisis and economic revival package items that will help America out. No, this is for the private sector. The government has many paid time off programs available to them, but this is for the private sector generally, 500 employees or less. And what essentially is designed to do is to hit the folks on the front line, those families, those individuals that have been impacted by this. And remember, this is going to be a short-term durational event. You know, we're going to know a lot more in 2 weeks than we do today. And so the bottom line is that we're going to get through this. We're going to be standing together. And now we have to have the next conversation of continue to address the public health crisis, but how do we stand with people longer term and get the economy to revive itself, to come back to where it was going before. And I'm confident we're going down that path.
And then I just
you know, obviously, I'm of the mindset this virus has been around us for quite some time, not just us as members of Congress, but in our country. To think that this just popped up last week, it's been there. So there's been many exposures to the thing. We're following the protocols. We're trying to demonstrate and lead by example, which is, you know, we're still got to go on with our life. We still have a job to do as a member of Congress, but we're doing that social distancing. We're leading by example to make sure that we recognize how important it is. And so I just encourage people. This is something that is going to happen and has happened. And when it does, you just have to deploy some common sense and to have a healthy respect for this disease. And at the end of the day, we'll get through it. We're going to get through it just fine.